Chapter 9, Captain Silver, continuation of Treasure Island. My shoulder was cut, but the wound was not very bad. I knew I would be all right, and the Hispaniola was safely hidden in the cove. My plan had worked after all. By now, it was night again. Quietly, I waded to shore and made my way back across the island to the fort. Without making a sound, I climbed over the wall and crawled back into the little log building. I would hear my friends snoring nearby. Just as I was lying down, I hit something with my foot. It was a man's leg. He groaned softly. Then a scream rang out. "Pieces of 8! Pieces of 8!" I would have known that voice anywhere. It was Long John Silver's green parrot. It was too late to run away. The pirates had taken over the fort. 2 of them tackled me and held on tight. Now I was their prisoner. Long John Silver was grinning from ear to ear. "So here's Jim Hawkins," he said. "Dropped in for a visit." "Where are my friends?" I demanded. "Gone," said Long John. He explained that the squire and the others had made a truce with him. They had left their supplies to the pirates and gone off into the woods. I was glad to hear that my friends were still alive, but why would they give up the fort? Had they gone mad? Long John told me I might as well side with the pirates now. The squire and the doctor thought I had run away. But I could see that things weren't going well for Long John either. Another of the pirates had died. Counting Long John, there were only 6 men left in the fort. Now some of them had come down with fevers. On top of all their troubles, the pirates thought that Israel Hands had taken the ship and left them marooned. Soon the pirates started to talk amongst themselves. "All this is the boy's fault," one of them said. "He's the one who took Billy Bones' map. To get revenge, the pirates were going to kill me." I knew I had to talk fast to save my life. "I was the one who found out about your plan to take over the ship," I said bravely. "And I'm the one who took the Hispaniola. Kill me if you want, but it won't do any good. And if you let me live, I'll speak up for you after we're rescued. I'll see that you don't hang." The pirates didn't pay any attention. They were going to kill me anyway. But Long John Silver took my side. "Kill him, and you'll have to kill me, too," he told the crew. The other pirates thought this might not be a bad idea. They were sick of taking orders from Long John. They went outside to talk it over. As soon as they were gone, Long John started to bargain with me. "I'll save my life and yours too," he said, "but you must do the same for me. After we're caught, tell your friends that I stood up for you. Whatever happens, make sure they don't hang me." I promised to do just that. Soon the crew returned. One of the men stepped forward. He handed Long John a piece of paper. It was the black spot. They had decided to kill him and me too. But Long John didn't seem afraid. "I'm still the captain here," he said. "You say I made a hash of this cruise. Why, it's you lads who sank our plan." Long John reminded the pirates that they were the ones who had been too greedy to wait until the treasure was dug up. He told them that they would never get along without him. Besides, he said, things weren't so bad after all. He told them the Hispaniola was hidden safely nearby. "Jim here is our only last hope," he added. "They could use me as a hostage." Long John was smart. The pirates weren't used to thinking for themselves. They were starting to change their minds about killing him. Then he reached inside his dirty shirt. He pulled out a piece of paper and threw it down on the floor. "I made a good bargain with the doctor," he told them. "Look what he gave me." It was the treasure map with the 3 X's. The pirates were so excited that they forgot all about the black spot. But my heart sank. Why would the doctor give the map to Long John? Now I was sure my friends had lost their minds. Chapter 10, Flint's Treasure. The next morning, Dr. Livesey came to the fort. He was carrying a flag of truce. By now, several of the pirates were very sick. Even though they were his enemies, Dr. Livesey was still a doctor. He had brought medicine for them. I needed to talk to the doctor alone. Long John decided to let me. but he made me give my word of honor that I wouldn't try to run away. So, Jim, you've joined the pirates now, said the doctor. I have not, I answered. I explained how the pirates had captured me. I also told him where I had hidden the ship. The ship is safe? Dr. Livesey was delighted. You've saved us at every turn, he said. The doctor wanted us to make a run for it right away, but I knew we'd never get away. The pirates would shoot us down. Besides, I had made a promise to Long John. He might be a pirate and a liar, but I was not. I would not go against my word of honor. Before the doctor left, he gave Long John a warning. I wouldn't go near that treasure if I were you, he said. You might run into trouble. Of course the pirates paid no attention. I could see that none of them ever thought ahead. The little fort was a mess. When the pirates cooked breakfast, they made more food than they could possibly eat. What they didn't finish, they threw into the fire. At that rate, it wouldn't take them long to use up their supplies. After breakfast, the men were ready to go hunting for treasure. Long John decided to take me with them. He tied a rope around my waist. He held the other end of the rope in his mouth. We'll use Jim here as a hostage, he told the others. Once we have the treasure, he'll get his share. I knew what my share would be. I believed in keeping my promises, but Long John did not. Once the men had found the treasure, they wouldn't be angry with him anymore. Then he meant to let them kill me. Down on the beach, we found the lifeboats that the pirates had taken over. We got in one of them and rowed to the spot marked on the map. Then we climbed the flat-topped hill called the Spyglass. That's where the treasure was supposed to be buried. The map said to look for a tall tree, but there were lots of tall trees. Which was the right one? While we were looking around, one of the pirates gave a shout. At the foot of one very tall tree was a skeleton. The skeleton was laid out in a straight line so that the arm bones seemed to be pointing at something. Long John checked the direction with his compass. The arms pointed east, southeast, by east. By thunder, said Long John, we have found Captain Flint's pointer. This was one of the sailors who helped him bury the treasure. Flint was so evil. Just thinking about him made the pirates nervous. It's lucky Flint is dead, Long John added. If he knew we had come for his treasure, this would be a hot spot for us. Aye, he's dead, agreed one of the pirates, but he died bad. If ever a spirit walked, it would be Flint. Pirates started to pace off, the distance marked on the map. Then all of a sudden, we heard a faint singing coming from behind one of the tall trees. 15 men on a dead man's chest, yo-ho-ho, and a bottle of rum. The pirates stopped in their tracks. It's Flint, one of them cried. It's Flint's ghost. Come, lads, said Long John. Someone is playing a trick on us. But the voice started up again, thin and high. Darby McGraw, it sang out. Fetch the rum. That fixes it, gasped another of the pirates. Those were Flint's last words. No one would know that but his crew, and we 6 are the only ones left. I never heard a ghost with an echo, said Long John. Besides, I know that voice. It's Ben Gunn. The pirates had thought Ben Gunn was dead too. Still, they cheered up. I never been afraid. I never was afraid of Ben Gunn alive, said one. I'm not afraid of him dead. So they kept on pacing off the distance to the treasure. But when they came to the spot marked by the red X on the map, they started to groan and shout. All that was left was a big hole in the ground. There was no gold. Someone had dug it up already. Pirates were furious. They were ready to shoot me and Long John right there. Quickly, Long John passed me one of his pistols. This time, I was sure my life was over. The odds were 5 against 2. 3 shots rang out. I looked at Long John. He was still standing, and so was I. Neither of us had fired a shot, but 2 of the pirates had fallen into the empty hole. The other 3 turned and ran away as fast as they could. Just then, Ben Gunn came running out of the woods. With him were the doctor, the squire, and Mr. Gray. I knew then that I was safe at last. Chapter 11, the end of my story. As soon as everyone caught his breath, Dr. Livesey told me how he had set a trap for the pirates. While I was away from the fort, the doctor had gone to see Ben Gunn. He learned that Ben Gunn had dug up Flint's treasure long ago. That gave the doctor an idea. He told Long John that our side was ready to make a deal. In exchange for some food, we would give up the fort and the map. Dr. Livesey knew that when the pirates found the empty hole, they would lose their tempers. They would start to fight. With luck, they would kill each other off. But that was before the doctor knew I was a hostage. When he found out that Long John had me with him, he knew he had to hurry and get help. In the meantime, Ben Gunn ran up Spyglass Hill. He kept the pirates busy by pretending to be Flint's ghost. Now I knew that Ben Gunn wasn't going anywhere, and he wasn't crazy at all. He had saved my life. What's more, he had been telling the truth when he told me that he was rich. When he got to his cave in the side of the hill, there was Flint's treasure. I had never seen so much gold. There were gold bars and pieces of 8 and other kinds of gold pieces too, round coins, square coins, coins with pictures of all the kings in the world. Captain Smollett was in the cave too. He had been wounded in the battle for the fort, but he was already feeling better. He was going to be all right. Later that day, we found the Hispaniola. For all it had been through, the ship was not in bad shape. The next morning, we started loading Flint's treasure on the ship. There was so much gold that it took us many trips to move it all. Long John was our prisoner now. The 3 pirates who ran away were still free, hiding in the forest. But they did not try to stop us. They had had their fill of fighting. Sorry, I'm looking at a message that just came through. Let me just get rid of that. There we go. 3 days went by. At last, the gold was all on board. We set sail for home. We left the 3 pirates on the island. It was too dangerous to try to take them with us. Later, we could send a Navy ship to pick them up. The adventure was over, but not for Long John Silver. Now that he was caught, he tried to change sides again. He reminded Dr. Livesey that he had kept the other pirates from killing me. He claimed that he had been trying to help us all along. "I'm with you, hand in glove," he said. I'll say for this Long John Silver, he never gave up. He could out-talk the devil himself, but this time I knew better than to believe him. I couldn't forget that he had been ready to kill me as soon as he got his hands on the gold. We had decided to take Long John home to England to stand trial, but we had to make one stop first. We found an island where there was a small village. We left Ben Gunn on the ship to guard our prisoner. The rest of us went ashore to buy food and supplies. When we got back to the ship, Long John was gone, and so was one small sack of gold from our treasure. Ben Gunn had helped Long John escape. We were amazed, but Ben explained that he was so afraid of Long John that he didn't want to have him on the ship with us. "We're well rid of him," he said. The journey back to England went quickly. We were sad that poor Mr. Hunter, Mr. Joyce, and Tom Redruth had been killed. Those of us who did make it home were rich, though. Ben Gunn spent his share of the treasure in a few weeks. Soon he was his old self again, poor but happy. The rest of us were set for life. As for Long John Silver, we never heard what became of him and his green parrot, but somehow I don't think he came to a good end. Now that my story is done, I will tell you a secret. There were 3 X's on Captain Flint's map. One marked the spot where the gold was buried. That was the treasure we found. Another marked the place where Flint had hidden his guns. The third X showed where he had buried many bars of silver. As far as I know, the silver is still on Treasure Island, but I'm sure I will never go back to look for it. I would not return to that place for anything in the world. And there you have it. This was adapted by Lisa Norby. She has written several other books, including other easy-to-read Bullseye Step Into Classics. And so I hope you all enjoyed that. Sorry for the interruption when I had that phone call. And hope you all have a good day. Good evening.